What's up, everybody? I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm joined by my better half, Ryan Clements. Ryan, I don't know if you heard, but they just announced the third game in the Final Fantasy XIII series.
Correct. Lightning Returns.
And it's not Final Fantasy XIII-3.
No.
It's just Lightning Returns.
Colon, Final Fantasy XIII.
Yeah. So what do you make about that, first of all, before we dive into
I would like to quote one-up zone Jeremy Parrish, who said that he suspects it is because they are putting all their hope in the fact that lightning is sometimes considered the most potent, the most recognizable and memorable part of all of these games.
Yeah.
And they're putting her name first, so it is Lightning Returns, and then the Final Fantasy XIII. Okay. Similar to how they did things like Crisis Core and whatnot, these spin-offs where they don't put Final Fantasy first.
Yeah, but this is supposed to conclude Lightning's story, right?
This is the final.
And Lightning is the protagonist
Correct.
of Final Fantasy XIII, so it would seem to make sense to make it Final Fantasy XIII-3, since they already
Lightning
did.
Return. Or just have Final Fantasy XIII : Lightning Returns, even.
Sure.
But, Lightning Returns is definitely going to be a much different game than
Different
the other
from Final
two.
Fantasy XIII and XIII-2.
Correct.
In what way?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Damon. Let me tell you. First of all, the entire game is essentially running on a countdown clock. Big surprise.
It's Final Fantasy Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask. That's actually a comparison I use in one of my pieces. But yes, Final Fantasy has a giant countdown clock in the corner. You have 13 days game
There's
days.
always a countdown clock in the game?
For the most part, yes. Like on the lower part of the screen from early things that we've seen. And this countdown clock is going to be ticking down, and any action that you take in the game is either going to add to or take away from that countdown. And what's really interesting is that if you reach the end of that timer and the world ends, you can somehow, we don't know the specifics, but you're somehow going to rewind and you get to start over and sort of keep some of your progress in terms of character development, but you kind of start that quest, that timed quest again, and you try and save the world.
Sounds interesting.
It's interesting. I think it looks very promising, but what we've seen is incredibly early. I'm talking
It's not an early build. It's supposed to be released next year.
Yes, 2013. Fitting, actually. You see that 13 is in there, and it's in the title, too.
They thought of everything.
They thought of everything.
So they're telling a new story here. It's set in a new world. Not in the world of 13 and 13-2.
And the tricky part is 13-2, you jumped around so much in time and space.
The new world is called Novus Partus, right?
Yes.
And this is the world that we see here?
Yes, this is the world, and...
So 4 continents.
It's like 4 islands connected by monorail, everybody's favorite form of transportation. This is set hundreds of years in the future from Final Fantasy XIII-2. Now that you may say to yourself, "Whoa, that's a huge gap in time." But
Lightning is old.
We jumped around in time so much in XIII-2, thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. So I think that's just their way of putting a little bit of distance between the two stories. But we know that Lightning Returns. Lightning is the only playable character in this game, as far as we have been told.
No parties.
This is a solo adventure, again, similar to other spin-offs like Crisis Core.
And none of the other characters that we grew to know in 13 and 13.
But we don't know that.
At least they won't be part of your party.
Right. Now, I mean, I suppose they could guest, so oftentimes Final Fantasy, they bring in characters for a few moments, maybe an hour of, but otherwise it seems like Lightning is on her own this time, and she is highly customizable.
That is, they were really harping on that fact when they were giving us this demo yesterday.
Yes.
You can customize, you can dress up Lightning however you want.
Yes.
They showed her she was wearing some fancy bell-bottoms.
Yep.
We saw those.
Yeah, we saw the bell-bottoms, and she had the heels with the fish swimming in them.
Yes.
You remember
that's
those?
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. But it's cool because the dresses, the accessories, the weapons that you give her are going to dictate how she plays in the game, and sounds like
adjust your attributes.
Yes, and it's much more action-oriented this time around. The face buttons on the controller are going to correspond with different actions, and it's all sort of in real time. I believe this is one of the first proper Final Fantasy games that has a real-time block button.
And also, in the footage we showed, there was a little bit more platforming than we're used to.
Yes.
And she was able to, jump up and grab ledges.
Yes.
And pull
revolutionary.
For Final Fantasy.
For Final Fantasy, this is a bit of a departure. And yes, she has more environmental traversal options, more so than just being able to jump in the previous game.
So what is this screenshot of? This is a city that she's exploring. This looks like Alice in Wonderland stuff here.
Yeah, we know that they wanted to go for a much more gothic look. I thought it was very funny that the developers said the main colors they wanted to use were black and white, which you could argue maybe those aren't exactly the most colorful of colors, but it's a classic scheme, and it is much more stark. It has a very, as you say, Alice in Wonderland. There's a lot of in this screenshot that we were looking at. It's very checkerboard, gothic, and I don't know. I'm digging it. It's different from the purple that was used in 13.2. There was a lot of purple.
We also have our first look at a monster.
Red Dragon
Lightning
Monster.
Returns. Red Dragon Monster. It's fire type. And also, I want you to note that the dragon is strong.
The dragon is strong. According to these official documents, the dragon is strong. Method of attack: the breath strikes as the wings regress.
And when its horns are removed, it cannot use its breath attack.
Right. Just as all dragons.
Go for those horns then.
Yeah, you got to go for the horns. It's still, we tease lovingly, but it's a cool design. And
he has chin decoration.
Chin decoration.
In the footage that we saw, was this who Lightning was fighting?
No, she was we saw a fight where I believe they called it a reaver, but don't quote me on that, even though this is a informational video. Informational. Educational.
This is edutainment.
Edutainment.
I like to think of it.
So yeah, it's this isn't the monster, but it's a cool example of one. I think we'll see a lot of neat stuff.
Ryan Clements, you reviewed both Final Fantasy 13 and 13.2 for IGN. You're
Yes.
You're sort of our expert on these games. Are you excited for Lightning Returns Final Fantasy?
When the name came to me, I thought to myself, I didn't want this a third one, even though we all knew it was coming. But after seeing how different it's going to play with all these time mechanics, I will say I am a little tickled inside.
Nice. Well, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, David.
Viewers, Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 is supposed to be released next year. It's very early, lots more info to come, so stay tuned to IGN.